An egocentric actress was mean to me at a party, so I told her I was a movie producer before leaving. This happened back when I was living in Paris for work. I got invited to this networking thing through my company, one of those fancy creative industry parties where everyone pretends they're important. The whole thing was at this super bougie restaurant downtown, and honestly, I didn't really want to go, but my boss basically forced me. I walked in wearing my only decent suit, feeling completely out of place. Everyone else looked like they stepped out of a magazine. The whole setup was like a sit-down dinner with assigned tables, which made it even worse because I couldn't just hide in the corner like I usually do. So I get to my table and there's this woman next to me. Blonde hair, designer everything, and the loudest voice in the room. Before the appetizers even came out, she was already telling everyone within a 5-block radius that she was an actress. Not just any actress either. According to her, she was destined for greatness and just waiting for the right opportunity. The thing that really got to me was how she acted like I didn't exist. I'm sitting literally right next to her, close enough to smell her expensive perfume, and this woman never once turned my way. Not even a polite hello or acknowledgement that I was breathing the same air. She spent the entire first course talking over me to some guy across the table about her headshots and how her agent was working on something big. Every single time there was a pause in conversation and I tried to jump in, she would immediately start talking louder about herself. She kept going on about how she desperately needed to meet a movie producer and how she was so close to her big break. She said it probably 15 times during dinner, each time getting more dramatic about it. The worst part was when I tried to introduce myself to the woman on my other side. I started saying hi and mentioning where I worked, and this actress literally leaned across me to interrupt and start talking about some audition she had next week. She physically blocked me from having a normal conversation with anyone else at the table. By the time dessert rolled around, I was done. My social anxiety was through the roof. I hadn't been able to have a single decent conversation, and I felt completely invisible. The actress was still going on about needing connections and how unfair the industry was to real talent like herself. I decided to bail early. I stood up and grabbed my jacket, trying to be polite about leaving. Well, guys, I need to wake up early tomorrow, so I'm gonna head out. Thanks for dinner, I said to the table. That's when she finally noticed I existed. After ignoring me for over an hour, she suddenly turned around and looked at me for the first time all night. "Oh, bye, dude," she said in this dismissive tone. Then she paused and tilted her head like she was doing me some huge favor by asking, "By the way, what's your job?" The way she said it was so condescending, like she was talking to the help. She had this little smirk on her face, probably expecting me to say something boring so she could go back to ignoring me, but I had been sitting there listening to her beg for producer connections all night, so I knew exactly what to say. I looked her straight in the eye with the biggest smile I could manage and said, "I'm a movie producer. Good night." The change on her face was instant. Her jaw literally dropped and her eyes went wide like she had just seen a ghost. The color drained right out of her cheeks and she started scrambling to get up from her chair so fast she almost knocked over her wine glass. Wait, hold on," she stammered, suddenly trying to be all friendly and charming. "I didn't catch your name earlier. What kind of projects are you working on?" But I was already walking away. I gave a little wave over my shoulder and headed straight for the exit, trying not to laugh at how desperate she sounded behind me. I could hear her trying to follow me, asking other people at the table if they knew how to reach me, but I was out of there. The best part was seeing her through the restaurant window as I waited for my taxi. She was frantically asking everyone at the party about me, probably trying to figure out if I was telling the truth. She spent the rest of the night running around that room like a crazy person, asking if anyone knew the producer who just left.